Hey guys, so this video is more an update in terms of like what happened 2024 and what I'm gonna just basically my own reflections, my own thoughts on what went well, what didn't went well, what did I learn, right? So in a nutshell, 2024 was chaotic and also very good, right? So it's like half of each sometimes is because like I had old problems from my previous company actually come haunting me in the first half of the year. I had lots of things I was thinking about whether to restart the agency, restart this new coaching business, which I did, right? And I had highs as well, right? So my income tripled compared to previously in an agency and all my other things. One of my projects I started neglecting it, kind of tanking, and I'm thinking whether this year should I continue it, should I not? And random stuff in my life. I went for multiple holidays. I went for a dance battle after 5 years of not essentially training in dance. I managed to get past audition, which is a win, right? And I reached 6 figures in my stock brokerage and one step closer to fire movement as well. I kind of gotten around 25 clients in the past 6 months, and that's after 6 months of just starting this brand new business. I had new partnership opportunities, new collaboration with people I respect, and I learned from my mentors as well. And I made my name in Singapore much bigger than where I was previously as well, right? And these are all wins and learnings as well, right? So and last but not least, I had solidified my mission in why I want to do what I want to do, right? Which is coaching, a coaching business, a consulting business, right? And my mission is very much to actually help, right? And help more people market their goods and services, basically goods and services which people will actually need in the world, right? To the mass market. This actually came to me while I was sitting down one day and thinking, like, why exactly I got into marketing, right? One of the core reasons was me thinking back when I was a physio. Actually, very little people really understood what physiotherapy was really about. People think it's rehab, people think it's doing exercises, people think it's like me pressing and massaging people. But in general, it's just rehabilitation and prevention of like various injuries in physical, sometimes also in like heart, in various places, right? Or maybe in the elderly, basically what you specialize in. But in a general nutshell, it's just more of like rehabilitation, prevention, and education on like various physical ailments that we can actually prevent, cure sometimes as well. And that's essentially what I feel is lacking, right? The really thoughts about how actually we market physiotherapy to people so that we get them in the right state of mind to actually want to actually be in physio, want to actually get on the treatment. Sometimes people come in for physio and just think that, hey, I just come in treatment and I basically get cured, and that's really the wrong mindset to actually come. So that really actually solidified my mission, really thinking back through why exactly I wanted to do marketing instead of doing physio. So I do have some direction and new goals for 2025, but today's video I want to share really much about the learning lessons in 2024, right? The first lesson I actually have is the simplest business strategy is really in front of us, right? Most of the time we already have something going well for us, and what happens in business or as entrepreneurs is that we get sidetracked. We always think the grass is greener on the other side, and we kind of look left, right, on various places. What are people doing? We compare ourselves with them, and then we try new things, right? I'm not saying trying new things is bad, but if you already have a thriving business and things are already going well for you, if you decide to look away from that, most of the time our business suffer, right? So like the main reason why I'm sharing today is like simplest business lead generation strategy is in front. We sometimes are already talking to more people, maybe posting on social media, maybe running ads, doing lead generation, simple lead generation, and talking to more people, right? Essentially, simple breeds much simpler ways to scale, right? And this is like running, right? So for me, it's like imagine running like a millisecond faster than your personal best. It is a very tall task, right? If you think of it in this way, obviously you want to try new things. You would rather try high jump, pole vault, whatever it may be to get up your new personal best. But it doesn't mean that better in that sense, right? So what I mean is that doing more of the same thing, right? So if I can run a millisecond faster, or I can replace myself running, right? But I can run more times, right? Be a robot replacing me, somebody else. I pay someone else to run for me. And that's like how I think, right? In leverage. So what we want to do is optimize and actually add in more leverage to our business, right? Let's just say if I need to talk to more people to get more deals, get more sales, let's do that, right? Run ads, create more content, talk to basically more people, hire salespeople to actually talk to more people, etc. here and there. So there are a few forms of leverage, like what Naval Ravikant has said. There is the manpower leverage, labor leverage, right? You can easily hire more people, and you can hire in a way how we can create more labor by hiring overseas, right? Hiring cheaper labor from other countries as well. And that's where I think most people in Singapore, most people around the world are not really on this like meta as well, or this alpha that people should really do. So I can actually hire 3 times cheaper and essentially sometimes even more hardworking and even better talent overseas. I'm not saying that I won't hire from Singapore or my own country. It's just more saying like if I can hire cheaper and they work better, work faster, work harder, why not? Why won't I do it? I can pay them better than their average salary salary in their country as well, right? This is a win-win. The second one is really about money and capital, like how to use money and capital to leverage. You use it for ads? Do you use it for hiring? Do you use it for buying more business? Do you use it for adding more investment, whatever it may be, right, in your business? Third one is really about code and automation. How I think about it is, can I use no-code tools? How can I code something from ChatGPT that solves my problem immediately? Let's just say code leverage is really much about how do I automate certain things? How do I actually ask ChatGPT to actually create a code? Let's just say I have lead gen, getting fake leads from various IP in different countries. Can I use ChatGPT to actually create that code, right? So really much about using no-code tools to really kind of automate, leverage certain things and solve problems at a much faster scale. Last one is really much about media and content. A lot of people kind of think content in a very different way. I think it more of like a leverage in terms of people finding you, people knowing more about your story, people knowing more about what you have done. And the more media you have out there, the easier is it for you to convert, close, get more clients, get more eyeballs on you. And basically that's right. And if you think in those terms, you'll be able to actually achieve more in 2025 and very much be set for like business direction. Alright, so the second lesson I have is content is a great way to build trust, but views are... Previously I always thought that views aren't that important, as I can run ads, I can get more views on my own. But right now I have a different take, which is views are important as well, but you need to have a balance, right? So more views equal more people having eyeballs on you, and there are more word of mouth, more validation that you are famous, you are good, you are basically good at what you do. Doesn't necessarily mean that more eyeballs sometimes is good, but in a general sense, yes, more eyeballs, more people viewing you, the more famous you are, the easier the business game is gonna be. So I thought creating content is just me yapping about value-based content. Let's just say funnels like A, B, Z, how to do lead generation, why people should get high ticket, low ticket, whatever it may be, right? It doesn't really matter, but it actually requires more skills than that. What I mean is that it requires way more storytelling skills, way more camera presence, and way more planning, speaking skills, idea generation to create differentiation and positioning in the market. Vastly much bigger than what I thought it would be, right? I obviously can do a lot of funnel videos, but it's not going to be differentiated from another funnel guy, another more famous funnel guy, and people buy their story, their personality, not really for information, unless that information is not commoditized yet. So most of the marketing things are commoditized. People buy me, not me for the funnel knowledge I have. Obviously my experience plays a part, the results plays a part, but that's just a small part to play, especially in content, right? Very much of the other parts are the story that you tell, the values that you show, the personality that you are as a person. So the next one is stress is needed, but too little or too much isn't very good, right? So I compare myself during COVID times, right? During the pandemic, is that the stress then was insane. I was stuck at home every day. I had only myself and a computer to stare at. I need to think of ideas on how to actually save the business, as multiple of my clients were telling me, I can't run a business, so I can't really pay you. So we're just gonna have a pause. I don't care what you say, right? So multiple businesses pause. I had 10 employees to feed, and I have no idea how do I do that. And I just rented a 5,000 per month place, which I can't use, right? Basically shit happened. So what do? We basically had immense amount of stress on how do we make this work right now when we're stuck at home. We still need close clients, we need to do something, right? We managed to get out of it, but I didn't want to be in that state of mind ever again. It was very, very toxic. The second point is like currently is like little to no stress, right? I obviously had some problems at the start of the year, but other than that, when we solved, I had little no stress throughout the year. It's like kind of like chill. It was not that stressful. And what I did was actually place unnecessary stress on myself, right? So what I did was place unnecessary goals. I need to get this asset, I need to buy that, I need to buy this, I need to be X amount of revenue no matter what. And the question I ask is like, why? Right? Why do I need to place unnecessary stress on myself? It's just basically because I was always operating in that mode, right? I need to run, I need to sprint, I need to sprint, I need to sprint. And do I really want that goal? Or is it like some unnecessary goal that people place on me that I decided, hey, I need to get that? I wasn't happy to get a goal. It wasn't even my own goal. So after deep reflection, like, do I really need to buy, let's just say, a condo? Do I really need to buy something else? Or can I be contented with something that I like rather than what other people say I should do, right? And very much, obviously we need to have balance in stress, and stress is good if you use and balance and not too much, right? So there's always a balance, and always understand the goals that you set out for yourself must be what truly do you want and what makes you happy, right? That's what I learned. The next point is there's always space to do both. And what does that mean is that you do not need to be a David Goggins. You do not need to wake up 4 a.m, ice bath, meditate, get your deep work done before everybody wakes up. And it's okay, right? So I play video games, I sleep late, I wake up late sometimes, I do own things at my own time. I delegate tasks. I don't necessarily like to do a lot of things. I'm lazy. I like to delegate to AI. I run a successful 6-figure business. I consult 7-8-figure business as well. So it's not necessarily like it's a hard must to do one or the other. There's no one or the other. There's balance most of the time, right? Not necessarily there's a need to, in Singaporean terms, chong, or in like English term is to like push to a certain extent, right? And we do business for one thing, right? We become entrepreneurs for freedom. If this 4 a.m. lifestyle isn't freedom for you, the truth is just don't do it. And it's okay to find your own pace, your own journey, and your own ways of actually generating the results that for your business itself. The next point is very much about what I remembered one of my mentors tell me in a very early of my career, and this is not in entrepreneurship, but in life and when I was dancing, right? So when I danced, I had basically 8 years under my belt when I was active. The first 4 years were horrible, meaning I wasn't able to actually get into auditions, wasn't able to pass any auditions, battles, etc. here and there. That made me almost give up because like, what is a validation, right? A validation of your good is basically being able to generate a result. So basically at a point in time, I paid money to learn a hobby and I wasn't able to generate any form of result. I wasn't even happy with the results, right? And it made me think like, hey, damn, like I'm basically not talented enough. I should just quit, which is true, right? Like after 4 years, like if you're not doing something and you're not getting the results you want, sometimes the answer is to just quit. But one of my mentors actually told me that it's not about really much about like also talent, right? Talent plays a lot of part. It's also being lucky, being right time, right place, and also learning throughout and improving, right? Improving the craft itself. The most important advice she ever gave me was that to succeed in most things, right, you just need to stay in a game long enough, right? And to quote like Simon Sinek, which is like the infinite game, it's the same thing, right? All games are infinite in nature. There's no win or lose in general, right? Because even if you win a competition, there's always another competition to win. If you even hit $100,000 a month in revenue, there's always 200,000, there's always 300,000, there's always $1 million in revenue, right? It doesn't really matter the revenue numbers that you set for yourself. There's always something higher that you want to achieve, right? But to succeed in life or in the game, right? Let's just say I'm doing coaching and doing the marketing field. If I do it long enough, let's just say for 10 years, I promote myself long enough, I do enough videos consistently, most people would just naturally come to me in the long run, right? And that's to me maybe succeeding, making it easy. And it's easy for you to make a name for yourself in 10 years. It's not easy in 1 year. And that's why you play long game, continue staying in the game, don't do stupid things which cause you to get kicked out of the game, if you understand what I mean, right? Essentially, that is like the biggest advice that came back to me, right? I get reminded of that advice again because this is like my 5th year entrepreneurship and it's getting easier and easier. The first 3 to 4 years were tough. I'm not gonna lie, were tough. But as the longer you get in the game, the longer you stay in the game, is easier. And the last advice, and also my reflection, right, for myself, right, is very much about relationship and partnership. I may have been screwed over by various partnerships in my early entrepreneurship journey, right? All my partnerships didn't really work out in a way that I wanted it to work out. Wouldn't say it's their fault, wouldn't say my fault. It's just more of like a balance of things, maybe just not a right fit. And that made me like kind of scared to do partnerships. But what I realized, like, especially this year, even though I'm scared to do partnerships, I do more due diligence, I do more smaller projects before I start doing bigger projects or signing a partnership agreement, starting a new company. Relationship and partnership are still one of the highest leverage, right? Because every time I don't know a single problem to solve, I can always ask. People have done it before, which are my friends, and I instantly get an answer within 5 minutes, and that basically solves all my problems. If I'm stressed about certain things, I have a trusted advisor to ask as well, right? If I want to scale to various countries, I don't want to try so hard, I can decide to one day partner with one of my mentors and basically scale the business up, right? These are all options to me. They're super high leverage, right? And I do constantly think of them and use them to actually solve all my problems, right? It's not like I don't. Basically, these are all the thoughts I have, reflections of 2024. I hope you guys take away any advice, right? Even a single one will be great, right? Obviously, I'll do another video for like how I'm going to really push through what are predictions for 2025 in the marketing world. But I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you soon.